Ladies and gentlemen, today is a gift. The way you approach it, the energy you bring to it, and the discipline you apply will determine what you get from it. But let me ask you something. How many of you wake up feeling like life is controlling you instead of the other way around? It's easy to feel overwhelmed. The world moves fast, responsibilities pile up, and setbacks knock us off track. But what if I told you there's a formula, a set of simple but powerful rules that will help you conquer every single day, no matter what life throws at you? Today, I'll share 5 unshakable rules to win the day, plus a hidden 6th key that ties everything together. Each one is a game changer, and together they will redefine how you approach your life. Let's begin. The way you start your morning determines the course of your day. It's that simple. If you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, diving headfirst into emails, notifications, and social media, you've already surrendered control. Before your feet even hit the floor, the world has claimed your focus, your energy, and your sense of purpose. And once you let that happen, it's nearly impossible to regain your power. But what if you flipped the script? What if, instead of reacting, you took charge? What if you designed your morning with intention? Because here's the truth. If you own your morning, you own your day. And when you own your day, you own your life. Think about the world's most successful people. Athletes, CEOs, artists, innovators. Do you think they roll out of bed groggy and unfocused, scrolling through their phones, letting the chaos of the world set their agenda? No. They rise with purpose. They move their bodies, they fuel their minds, they set clear intentions before they even step into the demands of the day. They take ownership of their time before anyone else has the chance to steal it. And that's the difference. That's the edge. That's the power that separates those who drift through life from those who lead it. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and doing something different. Before checking your phone, before letting the outside world in, you take a moment just for yourself. You sit in stillness, feeling the weight of the blankets, the coolness of the air, the quiet before the storm of the day. And in that moment, you decide, how do I want to feel today? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to be? Then you move. Maybe it's stretching, maybe it's a walk outside, maybe it's a full workout, but you move your body because energy creates momentum and momentum creates success. Then you fuel yourself, not just with food, but with thoughts, with inspiration. Maybe it's a few pages of a book. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's affirmations that remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. You don't let the world tell you how to feel. You decide. And then when the time comes to step into your day, you do it on your terms. You're not rushing. You're not scrambling. You're not reacting to everything that comes your way like a leaf blown around by the wind. You are in control, focused, clear, intentional, and that changes everything. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I don't have time for that. My mornings are chaos, my schedule is packed, and I get it, life is busy. But let me ask you something. How much time do you spend scrolling through your phone in the morning? How much time do you lose hitting the snooze button over and over, dragging yourself out of bed, stumbling through your routine, feeling exhausted before the day even begins? Because that's the real cost. That's what's keeping you stuck. Not the lack of time, but the lack of intention. You don't need hours to transform your morning. You need a decision, a commitment. 5 minutes of stillness, 10 minutes of movement, a simple moment to remind yourself who's in charge of your life. And the truth is, this isn't just about your mornings, this is about your life. Because how you start your day is how you show up for everything. If you start rushed, distracted, overwhelmed, that energy follows you. But if you start strong, clear, and focused, you carry that with you into everything you do. So tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, make a choice. Choose to be intentional. Choose to take control. Choose to own your morning. And when you do, watch how everything else in your life starts to change. Most people go through life feeling busy but never truly productive. They wake up, check their phones, respond to emails, scroll through social media, and react to notifications that don't actually change their future. They mistake movement for progress. They mistake activity for achievement. But here's the truth. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Imagine if you flipped that equation. Imagine if you stopped letting distractions run your day and instead harnessed the power of focus. Not just any focus, but laser focus on the 20% of actions that actually move the needle. The small percentage of efforts that yield the biggest results. That's where your success lives. That's where everything changes. Let's take an example. Picture a salesperson. She starts her day by checking emails, organizing her desk, tweaking her pitch deck, sitting in unnecessary meetings. But what actually makes her money? It's the time she spends talking to clients, closing deals, and building relationships. That's her 20%. Yet most salespeople spend 80% of their time doing things that feel productive but don't drive results. And then they wonder why they're not hitting their numbers. Now apply this to your own life. Look at your daily routine. How much of it is spent on things that actually push you forward? How much of it is spent on things that make you feel busy but don't bring you closer to your goals? The uncomfortable truth is that most people stay stuck in the 80% because it's easier. It's comfortable, it's familiar. But success isn't about comfort. Success is about choosing discipline over distraction. It's about having the courage to cut out the noise and focus on the work that actually matters. The work that moves the needle. The work that changes everything. If you want to transform your results, you have to master the 80/20 power of focus. You have to stop spending the majority of your time on things that don't matter and start ruthlessly prioritizing the few things that do. You have to become obsessed with identifying the 20% of actions that create 80% of your success and then go all in on those. Think about a writer. She might spend hours researching, editing, adjusting fonts, or rearranging paragraphs. But the real work is writing, getting words on the page, creating. That's what leads to success. Everything else is secondary. Think about an entrepreneur. He might spend his time tweaking his website, responding to every email, networking endlessly. But what actually builds his business? Selling, providing value, creating something that people need. That's his 20%. Everything else? It's just noise. And what about you? What's your 20%? What are the few actions that truly make a difference in your life? Because the moment you identify them, the moment you commit to focusing on them, everything changes. The truth is, success isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things, the essential things, the things that actually create results. And that means letting go of what doesn't serve you. That means setting boundaries. That means saying no to distractions even when they feel important, even when they're comfortable. Because here's the reality, distractions will always be there. The emails, the notifications, the endless to-do lists. But you have a choice. You can either let them control you, or you can take control. You can decide right now that you are no longer available for the things that don't move you forward, that you are no longer wasting your time on the 80% that doesn't matter, that you are stepping into your power and focusing on what actually creates success. This is what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who stay stuck. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's focus. It's the discipline to cut out the noise and go all in on what truly matters. It's the ability to wake up every single day and ask yourself, am I spending my time on what actually moves the needle, or am I just staying busy? Because if you're just staying busy, you are holding yourself back. You are keeping yourself from the success that is already within your reach. You are delaying the results you deserve. But the good news? You can change it. Right now, today, you can choose to break the pattern. You can choose to stop getting lost in the 80% and start owning the 20%. You can decide from this moment forward that you are no longer going to settle for distractions, that you are going to commit fully and completely to the actions that actually make a difference. And when you do, everything shifts, your productivity skyrockets, your results compound, your life transforms. Because the 80/20 rule isn't just a strategy, it's a mindset, a way of living, a way of choosing every single day to focus on what truly matters. So the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to stop letting distractions run your life? Are you ready to stop spending your time on things that don't move the needle? Are you ready to commit to the 20% that actually creates success? Because the moment you make that decision, the moment you take control of your focus, is the moment your entire future changes. And that's the power you hold right now, in this moment. So don't waste it. Own it. Step into it. Focus on what matters. And watch your life transform. Every single day we wake up with a choice. We can either lean into discomfort, attack our biggest challenge, and set the tone for the rest of the day, or we can hesitate, procrastinate, and let the weight of our unfinished work drag us down. The way we begin our day determines the way we live our lives. And yet most people spend their mornings doing what's easy, what's comfortable, what's safe. They check their emails, scroll through their phones, tidy their desks, convincing themselves they're being productive, while the real challenge, the thing that would actually move the needle forward, remains untouched. Why? Because it's hard, because it's uncomfortable, because it forces us to grow. And growth, by its very nature, is painful. But here's the truth. Waiting for motivation is a losing game. Willpower is not infinite. It fades as the day goes on. The energy we have in the morning, it's a precious resource, a limited currency. And if we spend it on trivial things, by the time we get to what actually matters, we're drained, we're exhausted. We tell ourselves we'll do it later, but later never comes. Or worse, we rush through it, giving it half of what it deserves, and then wonder why we aren't seeing results. This is why the hardest thing must come first. Attack it while you're fresh, while your mind is sharp, while your willpower is still intact. It's called eating the frog. If you can swallow the biggest, ugliest task first thing in the morning, everything else will feel lighter. Everything else will feel possible. Because when you tackle something difficult and come out on the other side, you're no longer the same person. You've proven to yourself before the world even wakes up that you are someone who does what needs to be done. And that belief, it's everything. Think about the gym. The hardest part isn't lifting the weights or running the miles. It's getting yourself through the door. Once you're in motion, momentum takes over. The same applies to life. The moment you take that first uncomfortable step, you shift from hesitation to action, from fear to confidence, from paralysis to progress. And let's be clear, this isn't about motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the tide. And if you wait for it, you'll be waiting forever. Discipline is what changes lives. And discipline is built by doing what's hard, before you feel ready, before you feel like it, before you have all the answers. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to accomplish more in a day than others do in a week? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not some secret formula. It's this one rule. They attack what matters most first. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't let the weight of a task paralyze them. They jump in, they get their hands dirty, they embrace the discomfort, and that's why they succeed. Imagine for a second what would happen if you stopped putting off the thing that's holding you back, the conversation you've been avoiding, the project you've been procrastinating on, the risk you've been too afraid to take. What if, instead of pushing it to the end of the day, to the end of the week, to the end of your life, you tackled it first thing tomorrow morning? What if, instead of letting fear dictate your actions, you let courage lead the way? How different would your life look? How much more would you accomplish? How much stronger, smarter, more resilient would you become? Success isn't complicated. It's about mastering the fundamentals, and this is one of them. Do the hardest thing first. Get it out of the way. Show yourself that you are capable, and watch how everything else begins to shift. Because when you prove to yourself day after day that you can handle the difficult things, you stop doubting yourself. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You start building unstoppable momentum. And momentum is what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, make the choice that sets you apart. Choose to attack, to conquer, to lead with action. Choose to do the hard thing first. Because in that decision lies everything you've ever wanted. Your mind is a battlefield, and the most important war you will ever fight is the one inside your own head. Every single day your mind is talking to you. It's narrating your life, whispering ideas, reinforcing beliefs. But the question that separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is this: is that voice working for you, or is it tearing you down? Most people don't even realize how destructive their own inner dialogue is. That voice is constantly running on autopilot, telling them they aren't smart enough, aren't talented enough, aren't worthy enough, and the worst part, they believe it. They let it dictate their actions, their choices, their future. Imagine waking up every morning with a coach in your ear repeating, "You're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. You're going to fail." How long before you start believing it? How long before that voice becomes the cage that locks you in place, stopping you from even trying? But here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and that means you have the power to change them. Think about one of the greatest athletes in history, Muhammad Ali. He didn't wait for someone else to tell him he was the greatest. He said it first, "I am the greatest." Before he won his first title, before the world recognized his talent, he didn't let doubt creep into his mind. He controlled the narrative. He spoke his greatness into existence over and over until it became reality. That's the kind of power you have over your own mind. But let's be honest, it's not easy. That negative voice has been in your head for years, maybe since childhood, maybe since that one failure that made you doubt yourself, maybe because of people in your life who planted those beliefs in you. But just because that voice is loud doesn't mean it's telling the truth. And if you let it run unchecked, it will rob you of every opportunity, every moment of courage, every chance to build the life you deserve. So how do you take control? You start with one small but powerful decision. Change the words you say to yourself. Right now, think about the biggest dream you have. The one that feels just out of reach. The one that excites you and terrifies you at the same time. Now, listen to what your mind is saying about it. Is it telling you that you're too late, that you're too inexperienced, that you'll probably fail? That's the voice that has been running your life, and today we shut it down. Replace those words with new ones, powerful ones, words that breathe life into your future. Instead of "I'm not good enough," say "I am capable." Instead of "I'll probably fail," say "I will figure it out." Instead of "I don't have what it takes," say "I am becoming the person who will make this happen." Do you know what happens when you do this? Your brain starts searching for proof that these new statements are true. You start seeing opportunities you never noticed before. You start feeling different, acting different, making different choices, because when you change your language, you change your life. Science backs this up. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. It filters information and focuses on what you believe to be true. So if you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your brain will find evidence to confirm it. But when you start telling yourself, "I am unstoppable," your brain starts searching for ways to prove it right. And when you see proof, you gain confidence. And when you gain confidence, you take action. And when you take action, you build momentum. And momentum changes everything. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great, but what if I don't believe it? Good. That means you're on the right path. Because transformation isn't about instant belief. It's about repetition. It's about persistence. It's about deciding that no matter what, you will not let that old toxic inner voice control your future. You fake it until you become it. You say it until you see it. You repeat it until you believe it. And here's the part that most people don't talk about. You don't have to feel confident to act confident. You don't have to believe in yourself 100% before you take the first step. You just have to start. Speak the words, walk the walk, and over time, you will become the person who is unstoppable. Think about the moments in your life when you let doubt win. When you had an idea but told yourself it wasn't good enough. When you wanted to take a risk but convinced yourself it wasn't the right time. When you knew deep down that you were meant for more but that inner voice kept you small. Now, imagine what would have happened if, in those moments, you had told yourself a different story. Imagine if you had looked in the mirror and said, "I am powerful." Imagine if instead of doubting yourself, you had declared, "I am capable of achieving this." Imagine if every single morning you spoke greatness into your life the way Muhammad Ali did. How different would your life look today? Well, here's the best part. It's not too late. Your future is still unwritten, and you hold the pen. So from this moment forward, you take control. You silence the voice of doubt and replace it with the voice of certainty. You declare your goals, your dreams, your worth as if they are already yours, because if you say it long enough and you back it up with action, one day you will wake up and realize you have become the person you always knew you could be. Most people are waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect plan, waiting for the ideal conditions. They tell themselves they'll take the leap when they have more knowledge, more money, more support. But deep down, they know the truth. The perfect moment will never come. And that's why so many people stay stuck, watching life from the sidelines instead of stepping onto the field and playing the game. Success belongs to those who act before they feel ready. It belongs to those who dare to move forward, even when they are filled with doubt, uncertainty, and fear. It belongs to those who refuse to let hesitation paralyze them, those who understand that action is the only antidote to stagnation. Think about any great invention, any groundbreaking business, any world-changing movement. They all started with someone who wasn't fully prepared, someone who didn't have all the answers, but took action anyway. The Wright brothers didn't have a perfect aircraft. They didn't wait until they had the ultimate design that guaranteed success. They built, they tested, they failed, and they kept going. They fell out of the sky more times than they soared, but every failure was a stepping stone, and because they acted, they changed history. Steve Jobs didn't have a flawless blueprint for Apple. He didn't wait for someone to hand him a playbook. He didn't ask for permission. He started. He created. He built something imperfect, something raw, something uncertain. And then he refined, adapted, and improved until Apple became a global phenomenon. If he had waited for the right time, the perfect product, or the absolute certainty of success, the Apple empire would have never existed. If you wait, you lose. If you act, you grow. It's as simple as that. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow. I'll begin when I'm ready. I'll take action when I have everything figured out," and then tomorrow comes and you find another excuse, another reason to wait, another justification to stay comfortable. Comfort is a liar. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It whispers in your ear, telling you to play it safe, to wait for more knowledge, to wait until you feel confident. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't sit there analyzing every detail, trying to perfect their steps in their mind before they take one. No. They wobble, they fall, they stumble, but they get back up. They try again, they keep moving, and that's how they learn. That's how they grow. And yet, somewhere along the way, we forget that lesson. We start believing we have to have it all figured out before we begin. We start believing that failure is something to fear instead of something to embrace. The truth is, failure is a necessary part of the journey. It is not a sign that you should quit. It is proof that you are trying. It is evidence that you are in the game. Every setback, every mistake, every misstep is shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to let failure stop them. You already have everything you need to take the next step. You don't need permission. You don't need more credentials. You don't need to be completely fearless. What you need is action. What you need is the courage to move forward even when you don't feel ready, because here's the secret. Nobody ever truly feels ready. Readiness is an illusion. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who are living the life you dream of, they weren't ready either. They just started. And that's why they are where they are today. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop waiting for someone to come along and give you permission. The permission slip you've been waiting for, write it yourself. The opportunity you've been hoping for, create it. The life you want, start building it today. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to take the first step. And when you do, something incredible happens. Momentum takes over, clarity comes through action, confidence builds, and suddenly you're not just thinking about success, you're living it. So go. Go before you're ready. Go before you feel fully prepared. Go before the fear has a chance to talk you out of it. Because success doesn't wait, opportunity, and your future self is counting on you to act now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The hidden sixth rule: win today, every day. Here's the secret that ties everything together. Stop thinking about the entire staircase. Just focus on the next step. We live in a world that glorifies the long-term vision. You hear it everywhere. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your 10-year plan? It's exhausting. It makes people feel like they have to map out every single move in their life before they even take the first step. And guess what happens? They get stuck. They get overwhelmed. They get so caught up in the enormity of the journey that they never start. Forget the 5-year plan. Forget the long game for just a second. Instead, ask yourself one simple question. How can I win today? That's it. Just today, just this moment. That's all that matters, because if you win today, and then you win tomorrow, and then the next day, you will wake up a year from now in a completely different reality. You will wake up transformed. Think about it. People don't lose weight by obsessing over 50 pounds. They lose it by making one smart decision at a time. They focus on one meal, one workout, one day. If they commit to winning each day, the results take care of themselves. The weight comes off because they showed up for themselves in the present moment. People don't build careers by worrying about how they'll get from the mailroom to the corner office in 10 years. They build careers by showing up, doing the work, proving themselves, and taking the next logical step. They win today, then they win again tomorrow. And before they know it, they're sitting at the head of the table. This applies to every single aspect of your life. You want to improve your relationships? Stop stressing about where things will be a year from now. Win today. Show up for your partner. Be present. Listen. Put the phone down. Speak with kindness. Do something thoughtful. Win the moment. Win the day. And suddenly that relationship starts to flourish. You want to build wealth? Stop worrying about how long it will take to become a millionaire. Just win today. Make a smart financial decision today. Save a little, invest a little, spend wisely, one decision at a time. You do that every day, and suddenly your bank account looks a lot different. You want to break a bad habit? Stop thinking about how hard it is to quit. Just win today. Say no to that cigarette, that drink, that toxic relationship, just for today. Not forever, just today. Then wake up and do it again. The problem is most people don't see immediate results, so they quit. They expect to feel different right away, to see drastic changes overnight. And when they don't, they give up. But here's the truth. You don't get results in a day. You get results by stacking up small wins over and over again. Winning today might not look like a victory. It might look like a tiny, insignificant effort. But those tiny efforts add up. They accumulate, and eventually they explode into something extraordinary. Look at the most successful people in the world. The best athletes, the top CEOs, the greatest performers. What do they all have in common? They don't worry about the future. They focus on executing today, winning this practice, nailing this meeting, delivering on this performance. This is what separates the people who succeed from those who stay stuck. The ones who succeed don't wait for motivation. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't get lost in overthinking. They just take the next step. They focus on what's in front of them, and they do it well. Every great transformation starts with one decision, the decision to win today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel like it. Today, right now. So ask yourself, what does winning today look like for you? Maybe it's making one healthy choice. Maybe it's sending that email you've been avoiding. Maybe it's showing up to the gym even when you don't feel like it. Maybe it's putting your phone down and being fully present with your family. Maybe it's taking a deep breath and not reacting in anger. Whatever it is, do it. And then do it again tomorrow. And again the next day. Because when you win today, the rest will follow. That's how you change your life. That's how you create momentum. That's how you break free from the cycle of waiting and wishing and hoping. You take action. You win today. And then you do it again. Now, I leave you with the challenge. Don't just listen to this, apply it. Tomorrow morning, wake up and take control of your day. Focus on what truly matters. Attack your biggest challenge first. Control the voice in your head and make it your ally. Take action, even if you don't feel ready. And above all, win today. Because when you start conquering each day, you don't just change your results, you change who you are. And that, my friends, is how you take control of your life. Let's get to work.